Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet and around the world. I'm Greg Prescott from in5d.com and in5d.net, and today we're going to be talking about introverts, extroverts, and spirituality. A personality test can tell you a lot about yourself and how you interact with others. This particular personality test that I'm going to show you will tell you whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. It will also give you possible career ideas if you're looking for a direction to go in life, and will match it to your specific personality type. I'll leave a link in the More Info section where you can take the free typology personality test. The first letter in your results will tell you whether you're an introvert or extrovert, as I equals introvert while E equals extrovert. My personality letters are INFP, and if you've already taken this test, then leave your letters below the video in the comments. I've taken this test numerous times throughout the years, and it's always been the same result. I find this test extremely accurate. I've been taking it every year since college, and every year I'm an INFP. In my research, I found that introverts tend to be highly spiritual. According to recent statistics, approximately 75% of the world's population are extroverts, but within the spiritual genre, the numbers are reversed. So why are spiritual people generally introverts? Society dictates that we follow specific personality types projected by the mainstream media. So why do introverts tend to rebel from these stereotypes? Introverts tend to look within for answers versus having the need for societal approval. Often, extroverts will view the introvert as being antisocial, stuck up, or as loners, but even with these labels, the introvert will stand his or her ground with complete disregard for how others perceive him or her. Often, an extrovert will ask an introvert, "You're so quiet, what's wrong with you?" Well, there's nothing wrong with us. It's difficult for the extrovert to understand why everyone isn't like he or she. One of the most famous introverts was Gandhi. I seriously doubt if anyone asked him, "Hey, Gandhi, what's wrong with you?" Despite his introvertedness, he was socially available for interviews and public appearances. If you are an introvert, then you will find complete comfort in solitude. You often find yourself immersed in deep thought and contemplation. Your need for approval by others is significantly less than the extrovert, as you realize that all answers come from within. While you may partake on social occasions, you often enjoy simply watching the environment around you versus being the center of attention, which many introverts try to avoid. On a metaphysical level, the introvert realizes how we are all connected and does not need the external approval and attention that is often sought after by the extrovert. If 75% of the world are extroverts, then the introvert is in the minority, yet the introvert will not succumb to societal pressures in order to conform. While some introverts may be shy, there is a big difference between shyness and being introverted. Shyness is a facet of social anxiety and the fear of rejection, while being introverted is the ability to be at a social function without the need for complete social interaction. For example, if an introvert was at a party, he or she can easily have conversations with many people, but often chooses not to. The introvert can have extroverted tendencies while still remaining to be an introvert. Conversely, the extrovert could also have introverted tendencies while still remaining an extrovert. Many introverts will pick and choose the time and place to be extroverted, such as waiting in line at the grocery store. In this situation, the conversation is limited and there's no long-term commitment to continue the conversation, allowing the introvert to have social interaction without being forced into it. Within minutes, The introvert will once again find the tranquility of being the observer. Within the solitude, the introvert finds much time to reflect on life. He or she will have a small group of close friends and will feel comfortable being themselves around these people.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. My name is Greg Prescott from In5D, and you're looking live at Siesta Key Beach on July 4th, Independence Day, here in Siesta Key, Florida. And this is insane. This is what it looks like here on July 4th. This is arguably my favorite day to be here on the beach. Not because of the crowds, I'm an introvert, but for the fireworks that go on. What we're going to see are fireworks going on all up and down the beach in the evening. And I'll be coming back later on this evening to record that as well. We've got beer pong going on.
The extrovert tends to be more interested in his or her environment and in socializing with other people, while the introvert is more interested in his or her thoughts and feelings. This doesn't necessarily mean that the introvert cannot have extroverted tendencies or vice versa. It simply means that there are general tendencies that seem to be consistent with both the introvert and the extrovert. The extrovert will feel uncomfortable when there is a small break in the conversation, while the introvert understands that sometimes words do not need to be spoken to appreciate the company of the person they're with. A hug and a smile speak louder than words for the introvert. The introvert is amused by the extrovert and will observe their mannerisms. An introvert will tend to be on the outside of a group looking within. By internalizing their feelings, the introverts are susceptible to anxiety-related issues such as migraines and panic attacks, but they are also more apt to find natural solutions on their own before consulting others for their advice. Because the introvert tends to look within for answers, he or she will find it easier to meditate and to quiet the mind. The extrovert's mind tends to remain overactive, as he or she will often have difficulty quieting the mind while focusing within. Another common spiritual activity for the introvert is yoga, which integrates the body and mind, while the extrovert is more apt to play team sports. In yoga, one uses their body as a vehicle for consciousness, while in most sports, the body is used as a vehicle for aggression. Once again, this doesn't mean that the introvert will not participate in team sports, nor does it mean that the extrovert will not practice yoga. These are general tendencies that introverts and extroverts exhibit in everyday life. The introvert may have a stronger bond with nature, as nature may not provide enough stimulation for the extrovert. You will generally find that people who enjoy hiking are predominantly introverts, as they appreciate the solitude and oneness they receive from being outdoors in whatever particular element of nature that they enjoy. Stargazing is another popular activity for the introvert for the same reason, as extroverts will become quickly bored with staring at the sky and may not understand how the stars are connected to our bodies and everything that is happening on our planet. I'm going to take a short break. You can find the tie-dye shirts I wear during these videos at In5D Quantum Tie-Dye at in5d.net. I make each shirt by hand and use gemstones and crystals in the chakra dyes, and I add in a little 99.9% quartz crystal sand from Siesta Key in order to supercharge the gemstones and crystals. I also sprinkle a little 99.9% quartz crystal sand on every order before I ship them out. Check out the testimonial link at In5D Quantum Tie-Dye and feel free to leave one of your own comments and pictures. You'll see a lot of comments about people wearing the shirts at night to bed and having amazing dreams. This particular shirt that I'm wearing is the Earth element, and it's awesome if you're looking for a great shirt to ground in. We have shirts for every zodiac sign at In5D Quantum Tie-Dye. I'll leave a link for this in all of our quantum tie-dye shirts in the more info section of this video, or simply visit in5d.net to see our entire selection. Continuing on, introverts prefer to watch, listen, and observe, and don't talk very much, but when they're with people they feel close to, they will openly talk about things that they're passionate about. If given the choice, the introvert will prefer to work alone or in small groups rather than with a large group of people. The ideal profession for the introvert does not involve being around a lot of people and may include careers in writing, computer programming, webmasters, and graphic design. In the end, the introvert could do virtually any job that an extrovert could do, but ultimately, introverts need to find their own space at the end of the day. Many introverts are avid readers and are constantly studying and researching various topics of interest, including spirituality and metaphysics. Reading may come in various forms, such as books, ebooks, or internet articles. The introvert tends to be guided by his or her higher self in what areas to pursue when researching spiritual and metaphysical topics, almost as if the higher self is guiding the introvert, which it is. Many people within the spiritual and metaphysical genres are introverts and often look within for answers. They are more apt to understand the principle of oneness and how we are all connected on a deeper level than the extrovert, who looks for physical approval. Introverts tend to use the right side of their brain and often are musically or artistically inclined. They may also be poets or philosophers and can easily see outside the box. The introvert will question the origins of what society has told us to be the truth, and unlike a scientist, he or she does not need empirical data to maintain his or her own beliefs. The metaphysical fields often attract the introvert because of this. Inner reflection is commonly used by the introvert, as he or she will look within for answers versus what he or she may have been taught. The introvert will use discernment as he or she weighs what has been learned externally versus what he or she feels resonates as the truth within. Introverts are often empaths as well. Their sensitivity to how other people feel tends to be heightened, as opposed to the extrovert, who is more concerned with how others are perceiving himself or herself. Extroverts may also be highly spiritual and will display their spirituality more openly than the introvert. They are easily able to talk to anyone about spiritual and metaphysical topics, while the introvert will pick and choose who he or she will talk to about these issues. The bottom line is that despite only being 25% of the population, the introvert will rarely change their attitude or personality to appease others, with the exception of their employment. Many introverts have learned how to be temporary extroverts, but in the end, their comfort zone brings them back to being an introvert. While society will continue to make the introvert feel like an outcast, the introvert will not be persuaded by peer pressure or conformity in order to appease others, because he or she already knows that the truth is within. While 75% of the population are extroverts, the introvert needs to remain true to his or herself despite peer pressure to conform to society. Despite not wanting the acknowledgement or recognition, the spiritualists within this genre are the leaders of tomorrow's world as we enter a new stage of consciousness and spiritual awareness. I'm going to wrap it up there. If no one told you this yet today, please allow me to be the first. You are loved. You are appreciated. Thank you for your service to humanity. If you're watching this live on YouTube, I'll be hanging out for a little while longer, but if not, until the next time, I'm Greg Prescott from in5d.com and in5d.net, sending you all infinite love and light. Namaste.